When you first enter this brave new world of science communication, it's easy to get blinded by the public engagement possibilities. You could write a blog, perform at a nerdy pub night, you could join a debate at a science festival, or guest on a podcast, or run a tabletop demo at an open day. If you haven't been asked to do a specific event and you're keen to try some sci-com, how on earth do you choose what to do? This video is part of a YouTube course on how to talk about science with the public. It's written with a focus on practicing scientists, but to also be helpful for anyone interested in science communication. This is the third of the 3 big questions you need to answer before you start writing. In the previous videos, we've worked out why you want to do it, we've looked at who you want to do it with, and now it's time to figure out what flavour of science communication you should go for. I've got 4 questions to help you decide. First though, I'm going to try to break down the landscape of sci-com opportunities. Oh, and don't worry about frantically trying to copy this down like a kid in class. There's a copy of the full thing in the pack of free resources that run alongside the course. Just head here to get hold of that. There you can print it out and you can circle the areas that you're most interested in trying. Right, let's start with writing. You could have a blog, writing your own copy for your own website. That gives you complete editorial control, but you'll have to do all your own marketing as well. Or you could join a group blog, which could be written with a small bunch of like-minded people. For example, Trailblazers, written by 4 women in archaeology, geology, and paleontology. Or a bigger blog like the Cosmic Shambles Network that hosts blogs by the likes of Robin Ince and Helen Chersky, Dean Burnett, etc. You could also become a science journalist, contributing to a newspaper or magazine. Any of this could be done part-time alongside your research, but how to get into science journalism and the pros and cons of being a freelancer versus getting a staff writer position at an outlet, I'll leave that for a future course. If you're interested in getting the words off the page, how about broadcasting? That could be talking about your research on a TV or radio programme, say the Today programme on Radio 4, or being a talking head on a National Geographic or Netflix show. It could be being a regular contributor or having your own show or series on the BBC. This can be done alongside the day job, but it's a sliding scale of time commitment. There's also YouTube and podcast, of course, where you can make your own content or contribute to others. And it's worth noting that to work in broadcast, you don't need to necessarily be the one on screen or on mic. You could be the science writer or producer helping to make the whole thing happen. If you prefer to see your audience, then you can always choose face-to-face events, talks, panels, debates, workshops. You could even develop a science demo to do a hands-on interactive activity with visitors at a festival or an open day. Or you could go for a full-on production show with big props, lighting, a set, which alongside live TV is probably the most visceral and most exciting form of science communication for me. And it helps to not just be a good storyteller, you also need to be a strong performer too. What's left? Social media. Big place for science communication with Twitter and Instagram. If you use a subject or conference-specific hashtag, you can join in a much wider conversation. But whether the engagement gets out beyond your bubble is debatable. Facebook, of course. There's also the likes of Snapchat to reach that younger demographic. I once did a featured story from a sub 1,000 feet down in the ocean on Snapchat talking, albeit briefly, about the science that we were doing, and that got incredible reach. Social media can be a great way to amplify and to share your other sci-com work too. Crikey, there's also museum projects and sci-art installations and board games and developing an educational app, being a consultant on a feature film, way more than I can mention. So how do you decide which to try? Well, each of these media has strengths and weaknesses, and to help, I've got 4 questions for you to ask yourself. I suggest getting your hands on the course resource for this video and grabbing some coloured pens, or one of those clickable ones, you remember it from school. Circle the options that answer each of these questions and see where the overlap is. Which of these media are best suited to achieving my purpose? It's not just a matter of personal taste or what you think you might be best at. You also have to think of which of these media are best suited to achieving your purpose, or more likely, one of your purposes. Do you simply want to reach the most people possible? If so, a broadcast option should be on your list. Or are you happy with a smaller reach, but more personal interactions? If so, maybe consider a small workshop or one-on-one chat at a stand. And what level of complexity do you want to get to? Live demos capture attention and create interest and emotions, but they can't often convey complex messages. For that, maybe it's better to unpack an idea through a longer talk or in a piece of writing where people can potentially focus more. Which of these media would be best to reach my target audience? To answer this, you need to know your audience, something we covered in video 2. What kind of content do they normally consume? What do they read? What do they watch? What do they listen to? Which social media do they use? And what type of accounts and conversations would they be interested in and engage with? If you can also figure this out for what science content they normally consume, then even better. And if they don't consume any science content, well, that's fine. As we'll get into in the next video, it's about finding the connection between your research and what they're interested in. Which of these media am I comfortable working in? Okay, this one requires an honest assessment of your interests, your experience, and your confidence. Yes, you will gain confidence and learn new skills over time, but it's best to start with a medium that you're comfortable with. If you aren't happy being in front of a camera, then maybe don't do TV or YouTube first off. There are plenty of ways to share your scientific tale, and not liking being stared down by a lens doesn't shut you out of science communication. Saying that though, maybe you want to improve your own skills and confidence. Also, I've run plenty of training with scientists who say that they can't do it, and then by the end of the day are delivering sound bites confidently and charismatically to camera. So, as with most things, don't count it out until you've given it a go. Which of these media do I have the resources and budget to use well? As we discussed in video 1, this all takes time, but how much time it takes depends on which media you go for. Writing a talk takes a while, but writing a script, filming, editing, uploading, that can take even longer. Pulling together a standard science demo to explore, say, buoyancy won't take as long as modifying it to more accurately represent a submersible's main ballast tanks. Social media is free, sure, but it takes time to get started and to build a presence or community, and maintaining that takes considerable time and effort too. So how much time are you going to put into all this? As they say, time is money. But money is pretty valuable too. Will your institution cover the cost of props, travel, or if you're starting a new project podcast, maybe kit, like a microphone? Can you get external funding? Can you collaborate with others, a graphic designer, a curriculum specialist? I can't suggest strongly enough the benefits of working with a professional science communicator. Science communication is a land of much opportunity, but no one can explore it all. Really asking yourself the questions in this video will hopefully narrow it down to particular media cities or even a specific house. The goal is to pick a carefully chosen media that enables you to reach your intended audience and deliver on your purpose. Let me know in the comments below which ones you'd like to try. In the final 4 videos of this course, we'll visit a handful of these specific media and look at how to deliver your sci-com successfully through them. That's stage 3 though. First, we've got to work through stage 2, content development, getting people to listen and keep listening no matter what medium you're using. That starts with the next video. See you there.